this computer. Yeah, started. 1 second. So in the last class, I discussed about a banking sector example for overriding method. So what we discussed, which are very important topics in Java, overriding and overloading methods. So now itself, yeah, got the example. Wait a second. So now we are going to take the scenario of a bank. Let me share my screen first. Okay. So this is the example, right? 1 second. So the bank consisting of a functionality called rate of interest. So each and every banks, that is various banks having different interest rates. Suppose we consider SBI, ICICI and Axis banks are there, and 8%, 7% and 9% respectively. Let me share you this. I will take a new one. Demo. So, file, new project. Why will we go for a new project? Why can't we create a class over here? Discuss. Okay. Yep. So I created a class inside that. For the visibility and all, I'm doing this. So the scenario of a banks, it is based on the rate of interest. So SBI, ICICI and Axis banks having 8%, 7% and 9% respectively. So their interest rates, assume like 8 and 7 and 9. So now let me share you this one also. Shift yes. See this. So this is a main class, and these three are subclasses. Inside a bank, we are having 3 banks. So the bank consisting of a method called get a rate of interest, whose data type is float. And in SBI bank, there is a get rate of interest, and its data type is also a float. Similarly, these 2 banks also having same name method, which is having a data type float. What we discussed about the overriding concept, when we compared with overloading, in the overloading concept, we are having a different arguments with the same method name. But in the sense of overriding method, everything should be same. Then only that method which is available inside a main class, will call it as overriding. Okay, so here this will be overridden by this method, and this will be overridden by this method, and all these 3 are different. All these 3 are different. This is one class, this is another class, and this is the third class. So this is the main class. This bank will extend the properties of this. Then this method will be overridden. After that, this method will be overridden by, this method will be overridden by this, when this ICICI bank extends this bank. This is the class name. What we will do over here, ICICI extends this bank and Axis extends this bank. Let me take the example. Okay. See now, I'm going to, so again, I'm going to explain this one because this is a very important topic. Public static. So inside that, what we'll call it as overriding concept. So inside this, I'm having a method. One method is called float. So what is the data type for that? Float. And then get rate of interest. Okay. And now, sorry, what is this? Missing return type. Okay. Let me delete this. We'll take a void over here. Later we'll discuss about them. Okay, this is the void. Return type is a void. And get a rate of interest. And now I'm going to create another class outside the main class. This is the main class. And now I'm going to, let me change this one. I will change this to a bank refract, and the name is parent class is a bank. Okay. Now class, and now it is SBI. And I created another class. Public should not be declared. Okay, I will delete this. Okay, class SBI. This is a subclass. Subclass. And this is the main class. Main class. Okay. And in this, I'm going to create the same method. Okay. And I'm going to create another class named ICICI and Axis Bank. After ICICI. Okay. And this is AXI Axis. Okay. So we just created 3 classes, which we are calling it as a subclasses. All these classes are connected to this bank. How we'll make easy relation in between this? By creating extends keyword. Or it should be a small letter. Extends, and it is a bank. So it has been done. So see this, and overriding has been created, and over here has a subclass. So what it is saying, this bank having this subclass. So that's why it has been created automatically. Okay. And this method is overridden. So here, if I'm going to system dot, sorry, dot print. So this is the one, and I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste over here. We required. So only this class has been overridden by this method. And now I'm going to do the same thing. Extends bank. See now. So it should be like overriding. 1 second. We have to write it as a override. Okay. And it is also a subclass of a bank. Extends bank. And now our task has been done. Each and everything, please see this. Here, its color is somewhat different compared with this. This is the overrides method form of a bank. So this is in green color. And this is this class saying that it has subclasses. How many subclasses are there? 1, 2, and 3. In this scenario, we are going to use overriding method only. So each and every bank, while they are doing their softwares, they use this process to overcome the problems while creating an object. Okay, let me do this one. Wait a second. Now I'm going to return. Okay, has been created. Where is the main method? This is the main method. And now I'm going to declare string args. Okay. Void type not returned. Okay, I will do the void type base. Wait. I will take it as an int, and I will take it as it should return a value. RETURL. Okay, we'll take it as an 8. Okay. So error has been gone. See this. So again, I'm going to take integer over here. And now I'm going to remove this. TURN return some 7. And in this method, the same thing I'm going to write. I will explain after this. Wait a second. TURN. Okay, this will be a 6. Okay. So why error is again it's coming? It has been gone, right? Oh, sorry. I need to remove this. This should be inside this. And the return type is an integer. Okay, now the errors will be rectified, and this is the only error we are having, which we call it as a overridden method. One, two, and 3, 4. Okay, only 3 banks, right? Ah, okay, enough. Enough. That is enough, I think. Yeah. We'll remove this one. Not required right now. So everything is overridden. Wait a second. Right over here. Don't get confused. I will explain it. Wait a second after the execution of this program. Okay, I think it is clear. I think 1 minute format. Yep. So the main class is overridden by all these things. And now I'm going to run this program. So it is asking like there are so many classes out there. What we need to execute. This is having a main method. That's why we need to choose this one. Okay, it's running. Yep, see, the same thing will happen here. Each and everything is overridden by each and every methods. And if we are having the same method inside this, it is also overridden by these methods. All these banks are having same method with the same return type. If it is having one argument also, it should be declared over here, and the same argument will be over here. Okay, remember everything. This will be useful at the time of calling the same functionality, so that each and every class consisting of. Okay, wait for 5 minutes. Actually, I'm having a call. Wait. Sorry. Sir. Yeah, okay. Uh, so now I'm telling you about, can we use overridden method in a static method? So the answer for that is no. We can't use a static method for overriding. So it can be provided by runtime polymorphism. Polymorphism in the sense it's of a many forms. So now in this program, many forms in the sense this is existing 3 times. So this we will call it as polymorphism. What is an inheritance? Is getting the properties of a parent class by the subclass itself. So static method cannot be overridden. If I'm going to declare the method as a static, we can't override it because we are going to take that another method inside another class. So there are so many subclasses over there. So when we are using the same method inside the main method, and again I'm going to use that one inside another method, another class itself, it should be a static. Yesterday itself I told about run. So this is an example. See this. If I'm going to use a static method, it can't be overridden. So the same name I'm going to declare. Wait a thing. You will understand that. So now I'm going to use. Excuse me. And I'm going to use static. See this. All these are, see what is you are getting. So get rate of interest in SBI cannot be overridden. Get rate of interest in bank. So the method is a static. This is a question. The static methods cannot be overridden. This is the problem will occur. And next one is, okay. So what is the reason of this static method that we can't be used? Because it is bounded in the sense, this is the bound for this. So for this main class, this is the scope for that. It is available inside this. So that's why static is not allowed. So it should be outside, then only it will be accessed. I think you got the point. Okay, let it be. So now, can we override Java main method? No, not at all. We can't override this method. This is the main method. It can't be overridden. So we can call it, but it can't be overridden. Okay, let me tell you about the difference between overloading and overriding methods. So the main differences, let me share the screen so that it is useful for you. Shift S. So see this. So this is the main difference. What is the difference? Method overloading is used to increase the readability of a program. Readability of a program is, suppose if there are, for the addition program, the method consisting of one argument and another method consisting of two arguments over here. Two arguments. So we are going to assume like this person is going to give at least two arguments, so that I will take one also. And after that, if you are going to assume like that person is going to give you three arguments, I mean three inputs, then we have to add all those values. So each and every time there is no need to think about the readability issues. There you will get the readability issues. Let me take an example. I think I just explained that one, right? Okay. See this. Simply, if there are two arguments and a person is going to give two inputs, so we are going to get those two arguments and I am adding those two arguments. So if another person comes and he is providing three arguments, please add these three arguments, and he provided that. And again, we wrote a program in that way that we can allow n number of arguments. This is the scenario at that at that context we need to understand. Okay, according to the client's point of view, we have to write the program. So that we will call over here. This is the readability issue. Here you will come. Here you will understand about that. And now method overriding is used to provide the specific implementation of the method that is already provided by the superclass. What I said, in the superclass, in the sense it's a parent class consisting of rate of interest. So already provided that one by the superclass, and these three subclasses are using the same concept like the rate of interest. Then only the overriding will occur. Next one, method overloading is performed within the class. Yes, method overloading within the same class it will happen, but this method overriding will go in different classes also, that it is having some subclasses which are extended by the parent class itself. So it is within the class and this is outside the class. And this is, in the case of a method overloading, parameter must be different. So arguments, parameters. So you have to remember about this. So it consisting of a single argument or two arguments or n arguments. It should be unique, and they should not be like the same arguments for the same method. It throws an error already declared. Then why you are why you are declaring that main method? And this is the third one. In the case of a method overriding, parameters must be same. So as we discussed, the method name should be same, and the arguments also same, and the return type also same over here. And next, method overloading is the example of compile time polymorphism. Yep. So this is the compile time polymorphism. So initially, at the time of compilation, you will get that error. So polymorphism in the sense of many forms. So this is a compile time and this is the runtime. So when you are going to run that program, then only you will get the error. So at the time of a compilation itself, it will tell like already one argument is available, and why can't you provide another argument so that it will match the current scenario. And this is overriding concept at the time of runtime polymorphism. There you are using, there you are going to run the program, then only you will identify that there is an error in that program. So you have to take care about this. And next, finally, method overloading cannot be performed by changing the return type of the method only. Return type can be same or different methods overloading. So what he is saying, like return type should not be same, but we can use the same also. So it should not be the same. If the data type is like return type is like integer, and for the another overloading method, we can use a float also. So they should not be unique, but the method should be the same, but not in the sense of this. Return type must be same or covariant in method overriding. Covariant in the sense the same itself. So it should not be a different like integer, float, or a string. If one method is going to override the same return type, then another method also should return the same return type. Okay. This is very important in your examination. You are going to get at least one question will come based on overloading or overriding methods. How to write somewhat information about this concept, and after that you have to give the example and write the output too, so that you will get a good marks. Let me share you my NetBeans. Okay. So I think now you got a good idea about overriding and overloading concepts. So I think we need to discuss about the attributes final and a static. We already discussed about the static. Now I'm going to tell you about the final. In the previous class also I discussed about that, but I will explain it in a different way. So now I'm going to create another project. For this, I'll tell you what is the use of these constants and what is the use of a final keyword. Oh, sorry, I'm not going to open that. Sorry. Java application, and the next. So see this, I created one class over here. The name of the class itself is called demo5. And now I'm going to create another class, which I'm going to tell you about constants. Finish. So in the project itself, constants are used inside the another class, and hard coding is not allowed. You have to remember that. What is the hard coding? Suppose, okay, I'm going to take, I will take the main class. I think hard coding, you have idea about that. Scanner input is equals to new scanner of system.in. Okay. So int a is equals to input dot next int. Okay. So I think second section people, they don't know about the scanner. I think. Okay. I'll tell you. This is used for the user input. Okay, whatever it is. So now I'm going to print this one. Okay, it should be like a. This is enter a, and there should not be a print line. Okay, so this is the scenario each and every client will expect. Sorry. So I'm going to run this program. So it is waiting for us to give the input. So I provided dynamically at the time of a runtime, I provided this. So which is a good scenario for us. So which is useful for us. Each and every time we have to provide the values dynamically. You should not mention directly like this. A is equal to 20 into 20. This we will call it as hard coding. This we will call it as hard coding. This is not allowed inside your projects. It should be in this way only. So you have to give the values dynamically. Dynamic in the sense at the time of runtime. So why I explained this? Because it is important for you. Remember this one. So this is I'm providing dynamically. We should not use a direct value over here, which we will call it as hard coding. So now I'm going to write the constant class. Inside a constant class, I'm going to take a final int. We'll take a float or no double. Pi is equals to 3.14. So which is a constant in the universe. So we can't change the pi value. That's why such type of constants we need to declare in a separate class. If required anytime inside the another class, we are going to access that by using, let me delete this, by using the constant, by using the object of the constant class. How to create that one? Creation of an object. Now I'm going to create an object for that constant. Constant is equals to new constant of, okay, the object, wait a second, constants. Why it is showing error? Did I mention the name const? Okay, I wrote the name wrong. That's why it is throwing error. It's okay. Just remember this. I have to change the name for this. That's why it is showing error. Okay, the object has been created. Now, when I'm going to find out the area of a circle, so here itself, I'm going to use that one. There is no need to mention over here like pi is equal to 3.14. So I can directly access pi star or star or. And now I'm going to provide R value. For that, we'll take a scanner. Okay. As of now, we'll take int R is equals to, okay, 7. So it is 7 centimeters. Like, yeah, 7 centimeters is enough. And now I'm going to take it as a float. So we'll take it as a double area. So in this way, okay, this is a constant. Because the object we created, the name should be called, then only pi will come over here, dot pi. Now you got the point, right? So at the time of project building, I mean at the time of project, 1 second. While we are working in a projects, each and every time you have to mention your constants, everything inside the another class. And by creating that object over here, and you can access everything. So there are so many constants inside the project. So you should not write those constants inside this. What is the use of a final? When you are going to declare a final before a method or a variable or a class itself, You can't change that throughout the program. That's why when we declare a variable as final, we'll call it as a constant. So the main use of a final is we are going to declare as a constant. And there are another keywords also there. Finally, this one, finally, I will explain it at the time of a usage. Okay, this is the way to declare a final keyword. Okay, don't forget this. Just remember everything what I said and practice in your PC. Actually, the time has been completed. Okay, you may leave now. Yeah, you may leave.